Free the dumb, freedom, free the dumb, so that they can speak, yeah. Yeah, this is Nature Ellis representing the perfect balance, Trodclass featuring Ras Dada, talking about Bingi, talking about, of course, Yaga, talking about Oka Van Gogh. Yeah, you know, say a good vibration, seeing to elevate the nation, seeing, don't you know, talking about a revolution sound. Keep it locked. Nature Ellis has said that. Zane, perfect balance, Trodclass. Do it.
Yes, I.
Mm.
I look at the whole framework of everything going on, brother, and it look like a lot of stuff are going on in the world. We see US involving like really like primarily involving two major things that are going on right now. I want to touch on it and say what the item views are. The situation with Venezuela, and the situation with Nigeria. Two major things I think happening, and the US being a major player in both. So
The main culprit.
hear you. So we just want to say what are them views on this what I go on. You can like one of you them want to talk about both of them at the same time. I want
Yeah,
just
man.
highlight.
It don't
The
matter.
first,
It's one culprit.
The Nigeria one,
Mm-hmm.
and that is with President Trump. I'd never see it coming. It wasn't something that built up our, you know what I mean? Yeah, expect.
Mm-hmm.
I never see it coming. It just come out of the
Mm-hmm.
blues. And
Right.
even now, I am trying to figure out what is the real him, who is like, because normally Trump don't know what's going on in the world. Where's Africa?
Mm-hmm.
It's normally someone and put him onto something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know
why
what I mean? So
Robert Five has right.
something has to be behind it, but me can't find the reason or the person who is behind it and what them really offer. Because
But the
we
motive.
know that these people don't care about Africa like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Seeing.
They don't care about Africa like that, African diet. Christians are not Christian. They don't care about. And for somebody that talk about Christian genocide in Nigeria, where this has been, first thing, there's no Christian genocide going on in Nigeria.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right? But the conflict where Christians and Muslims, mostly Muslims, have died, it's been going on for such a long time. I don't know why now they all of a sudden interest in Nigeria, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the only thing I see is Heil. But, you know what I mean?
I thought you said you didn't
I'm
know.
not sure. No, I'm saying I'm looking into it because I can't really see I can't see why.
But I think it's a good leverage, because Nigeria have resources, and
Yeah.
anywhere the US can get in on some kind of phony accusation against a country, they're gonna try to do it. Whether it work or not, I don't know it's gonna work because it's nonsense. The rest of the world know it's nonsense, right?
Right.
But it makes it dangerous when a man spew nonsense and then try to back it up in the same way, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning enforce the nonsense. And we see that in places that have mineral wealth, whether it's Nigeria or Venezuela, right?
Right.
So we've seen that these countries have something of use to the person who decides, hey, I'm gonna go in there. That guy is a narco terrorist.
Yes.
He's a drug lord. Well, I'm gonna go in here because you killing Christians. Because you is the protector of Christians on the earth. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because everywhere you go is the same conversation about Christians, whether you're in South Africa or you're in
Nigeria.
Nigeria, is still talking about Christians. So use this protector of Christianity. Well, brother, Christianity in trouble.
The Okavango made a swooping statement that there is no genocide on
Christian
Christians
genocide.
occurring in Nigeria. So I'll just read this statistic here. Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data, right, ACLED, repository cited in a recent BBC report estimates that approximately 53,000 civilians across all religious backgrounds have died in targeted political violence since 2009 in Nigeria. The results are from Nigeria, right? Of these casualties, between 2020 and September 2025, Christians were specifically targeted in 384 incidents that resulted in 317 deaths. So, in comparison to 53,317, even though it's a substantial number of lives, is a very small percentage of the
the amount of people,
total that have lost their lives.
So if Africans are unalive, it's okay if Africans are unalive. No problem with that.
No, the thing is, if there is a genocide going on,
there would be a much
it's a
larger
Muslim
number.
genocide going on.
Right.
Because most of the people who are dying are Muslims. Right? So it's far from being a Christian genocide.
Right.
And Nigeria is basically split in two between Christians and Muslims. Right? So it's not like it's less Christians.
Right. So and this is not the Trodclass record. This is a record from an official statistic bureau.
Which what's the name?
ACLED. The Armed Conflict Location and Event Data.
And the conflict that is going on is the Boko Haram rebels.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them. Because that's another thing as well, that the conflicts there are multiple conflicts going on.
Right.
So you can't just attribute everything that's going on to a singular.
But the Boko Haram is the major conflict.
Is a major
conflict.
Because again, it's in territories again. So in one region of the country, that's the major one. But in other regions, there are other conflicts that are major in those regions too.
Like what?
What?
Like they have the farmer herder conflict that's going on in I think I remember that's in the southern part of the country. I think closer to Niger, they were saying that is one of the major things as well. They identified a couple of the of them. Like what's this thing called again? There's a Biafran separatist movement, Lakurawa. There are a couple of different things going on in different regions of Nigeria. But they're trying to just load everything together under this to say, oh, this is what it is.
But I know that normally when we hear about these mass
Christian and stuff like
murders,
that, Boko Haram
is
is
normally
involved.
Boko Haram. You know what I mean? That's more, and that's one was more publicized. I really never really hear about
the other ones, right? That's what I'm saying. So this is why I'm saying that they're trying to use this to say this is what it is, but we're saying that in reality, there's so many different things going on.
Right.
And it's resulting in
and not only that, you see when you talk about the farmer herders thing, that is Christian and Muslim, you know. The farmer herders is Christian and Muslims. So one is farmers and one is herders, right? And that is highlight that part of conflict as far as religion is concerned. But it's all under the pretense of nonsense. In any means, is all nonsense. It's all nonsense.
The farmer herder, when we hear about the farmer herder thing, you know, you just bring me back to Cain and Abel business again. You know?
Right.
You understand? Because like a farmer as opposed to a herder, and this is gonna be a major conflict. Like we understand that is a competition for resources and everything, but we must be in a state where we can really resolve these things, because animals and crops been existing on the continent for millennia.
Farmer herder conflict is a conflict going for millennia.
Right.
A long time ago.
Long time.
Yaga.
If you look at the track record of Uncle Sam in the intervention in Iraq, when the little brother Colin Powell come and shake a little vials of say them have the weapons of mass destruction. We found out that there was no evidence of that
to support that.
And later on it turned out what they were there for in actual And in fact, we've seen the same thing in Libya, where they came in the famous speech of Hillary Clinton. We came, we saw, and we killed him. We know the reason why they did that. We've seen the same thing in Syria. They said they were there to secure resources for the people, but we later found out that they are the ones who are controlling the resources. And citing reasons to attack Venezuela. Venezuela is not even one of the biggest narco transshipment area or supplier within that region. So that argument falls flat on its face. And Nigeria, we know there is no genocide of Christians there. And again, we look at what is there.
Yeah.
Because America is in so much debt. To continue their hegemony and do what they are doing, they have to create all of these destabilization in controlling people's resource so that they can fund their war. Because the people who are pulling the strings, this is what they are into. They are into controlling people's resources and controlling their country.
Then
The world.
But you have a bigger conflict. You have a side thing going on in Venezuela too, right? Think about how resourceful Venezuela is, right? And what she possesses, oil and gold, right? But not only that, you have a Chinese company that sent a floating oil rig to Lake Maracaibo. They made a deal with the Venezuelan government, right? Right now at Lake Maracaibo, the present oil production is 16,000 barrels per day. This Chinese company invests $1 billion. They send $1 billion floating rig to increase that production by 60,000 barrels to 60,000 barrels per day, right?
okay.
Think about this thing too. For the US, for a company to do such a massive investment in a country that they deemed as an enemy, then that too is a power play for the US to go into, you know. It's not only just it's so much politics behind the game too, because think about what China
Venezuela
is
has the
doing.
biggest oil reserve in our world.
Yeah, man. But China is saying, hey, we doing business with these people. Like,
Listen,
and the US saying, in my backyard, in this manner, is a lot going on.
It's a
There's a
lot,
lot
man.
going on, but
Like
resources, it's all
it's a lot
based
of cloak and
on
dagger.
resources, yeah.
the
It's a lot
world.
of cloak and dagger,
Yeah.
you know?
You see, the
Yeah.
world or the earth, the economy is based on fossil fuel. Fossil fuel run the world economy. It's either two things. The most powerful country in the world, either they sell the most fossil fuel or they use the most fossil fuel, or both. Right? America sell the most and use the most. Right? They are in the top of that when it come to fossil fuel. Right? And they want to control everyone fossil fuel. We see the common denominator. It's either oil or gas. All the things that they involve in is either oil or gas. Venezuela, as Yaga said, Venezuela has the most the biggest oil reserve
Largest oil reserves.
on the earth. You know what I mean?
And gold.
And the thing
And one
is,
of the biggest gold reserves on the earth.
the thing is, Venezuela oil is one of the lowest grade. So what they normally do is send that low grade oil to America to refine it, and then America will sell that, right? But America, by the way, will use that and sell their oil. Because America, they produce oil and sell it, while take low grade oil and use it, which is the low grade oil is cheaper, right? It's cheaper, but their oil is more expensive. So they sell them more expensive oil while taking in the low grade oil and refine it and use it. Right? Venezuela doesn't want to do that. Venezuela, they want to change where they are refining their own oil. And that's where most of the
finished product.
Most of the problems start with Venezuela, right? You know what I mean? Because they want to nationalize it, and you know what I mean? So that's where most of the problems start with Venezuela.
Yeah,
And
man.
before, remember, so them
Nigeria.
declare, you know, them declare one guy to the president, you know, a while back, you know, and put a 50 million bounty for Maduro head, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And that never worked. That never worked. So you see, them forward again and I try something else.
I think
Yeah, so
Nigeria being
it
the largest hide producer in Africa.
Africa. In
mm,
You know
Africa.
what I mean?
and
Have a
and
target
and
on them head.
Nigeria, remember as well today Nigeria is looking to become part of the BRICS as well. So is a
Yeah.
next little aspect of it that again where and Nigeria is one of the largest countries on the continent
Mm-hmm.
economically as well.
Economically.
So
Economically
Yeah,
as
can
number
well.
attack
one.
on grips.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, number
yeah,
one.
And
you
it
know.
all so we cannot put out of the whole equation where Donald Trump himself is under pressure because all the big talk that he made before he was elected is gonna make America great again, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that.
Mhm,
He's
mhm,
he's not delivering on any one of these things. So,
mhm.
they have to find some
Distraction.
distraction.
Yeah.
So while we talking about all this, what the item think is the possibility of an actual strike in Venezuela based on the designation that the president is a narco terrorist? Because this is what's going to happen. And right now, they're contemplating whether to go in or not.
Mhm.
But right now I don't even know because but it's very possible because they are
If,
illegally murdering
if
civilians in the Caribbean Sea,
yep,
just
Mhm.
bombing
bombing boat, claiming that they are narco boats, not
Mm-hmm.
no due process, nothing at all,
No
just bombing
And,
evidence.
boats.
and
Just
No
look
building
at
up
a boat and
evidence
say,
forces,
enough.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
off the coast of Venezuela.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now anything could happen, but you know what I mean. He's under pressure, so he want to do something for the distraction too. That's why he's talking about this Christian thing because he know his base is Christian. So
CARICOM,
Mhm.
once he
CARICOM,
mentioned Christians, one yeah, go.
CARICOM should have come out and made their position clear and the build-up of forces in the Caribbean, of which Trinidad had played a part in harboring one of the vessels from US,
Yeah. Yes.
which
That
kind of
is true.
triggered Venezuela to an extent because as a Caribbean neighbor, you wouldn't expect to participate in a such activity because we've seen when those things happen in Nicaragua and Grenada, what happened. But the
Mhm.
people and the youth of Venezuela are standing in solidarity with Maduro and they are ready to defend their homeland. So I don't know if America really want to posture and push the button so close to home where it will really have a big spillover within the region. It would have
But
affected entire region.
the CARICOM really can't do nothing about the build up in the
Yeah, but
Caribbean,
they
you know.
can state their position. They can state their position and let the world know that this is unacceptable because we all know that Venezuela, Maduro
We're
is
sovereign
no
states.
narco state
No,
as they
no,
are
no, no.
stating it
Yeah,
because you have bigger state
yeah,
than
that.
those around there.
But
Mhm.
remember, the 1961 treaty that the Caribbean, the West Indian Federation made with America was that they could enter their waters for any extended period of time when they see so fit based on a threat. So they gave them that permission to be in the Caribbean and do what they
Mhm.
want to do since 1961, So for protection and trade as well. But what is
Mhm.
the trade, right? The trade is the the um the Panama Canal, right?
Mhm.
So that had to be protected as well. So
Mhm.
once the West Indian Federation did that in 1961, US they literally what they're doing right now is based on that.
Mhm.
Is
I
based
still
Well,
on that very treaty.
the European some European country, I think it was the European Union condemn the strikes on the vessels in the
Yeah,
Caribbean
man, and they
Sea.
should. You
mhm.
killing innocent people. You don't even know who on the vessel. You just
Yeah, you don't know one
bombing,
yeah.
but you're
So that
bombing, blowing up vessels.
was a
That
bold
that's
step.
that's that's
Mhm.
crazy, man.
That's not the sort of
Um,
action you take on people who you see in boats.
You're bombing
No,
them,
but the normal process if you are doing
you have a Coast
every other
Guard.
country,
Coast
if you
You
Guard,
are
have a
if
Coast
narco
Guard.
trafficking is going on,
You have a Coast Guard.
yeah, if you're a Coast
Coast
Guard,
Guard.
you get that vessel, and they go through the process
Yeah,
and they go to
yeah.
jail if I so, right?
You just bombing people.
Just bombing, just bomb, yo, it's like boom,
Mhm.
bomb it.
It's
Even
a
if they
So
starting though.
were drug traffickers, it's not sitting there. It's illegal.
Well,
yeah,
it's a
there's due
policy
But
that the
process.
it's
War
a
Office.
starting.
It's a policy that the War Office takes up. So it's
How
gonna.
him name?
Well, well,
How boy
this is
name?
what I'll say, right? This is what I'll say. Like, we know that historically, whenever we see a conflict, that is ultimately some form of grab at resources, right? And we see that these resources are there, and we see that this is what they're posturing, as Yaga say, to do. But what I'll say is that the the situation where the country is in the US it's almost, I would say, recession like, right? It's almost recession like. Things are challenging economically in the US at the moment. And how the US comes out of stuff like this a lot of times is by creating these conflicts, gaining these resources, and then from the returns on these resources, they're able to come out of these things.
I'm down
So
there.
it's just a repetition of history that we're
But the debt
seeing.
is not going on because we see it spiraling because they're just printing more money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
under that,
well,
sometime
that,
I not really fi gain the resources, I have to mash up the line of the resource,
Mhm.
Because when them do, then damage the country, so them can't
mm-hmm,
produce the resource. And
mm-hmm.
then so because
But
They
it
the
go and
country
overspend
rebuild
it.
it.
is a direct competitor. So
And
Well,
then they go
they take out the
rebuild
well,
it.
competition.
But they
well.
also take out
In
the
some
resources as well.
instances, that's true, right? Because
But they
while we
also
talk
take out the
about
resources
narco,
as well.
No man,
while
most of the
while
time
we talk
I
about
mash it up.
narco terrorism, right? We have to remember, in Afghanistan, after the involvement and they took over
Mm-hmm.
and was in charge of the country, coffee
Mm-hmm.
production grew
Yeah, man.
threefold.
Yeah, man.
So,
We see it
so
all the time.
we have to
We see it
always,
all the time.
we,
Under the Reagan
yeah, yeah,
administration,
yeah,
under the Reagan
yeah,
administration, the same thing happened. You understand
yeah,
what I'm saying? So historically,
it
this is what they
increased.
do. They do this historically. You understand? So, you know, it's just sad that in a time like this, where we would imagine that diplomacy and multilateral reasoning
International laws and
would
morals, you know?
would really take precedence. We see that people still employing these same tactics, these age-old tactics, and still getting the same results. So again, we have to be vigilant as a people. We have to be aware of what's going on as a people, and we have to pay attention to these things, because we can't just brush it under the rug or just ignore it and say, oh, we're just focusing on those things that directly impact us or affect us, because ultimately, even though they seem distant at the moment, ultimately they are going to be direct effects to us as a people as well.
Yes, today for
Donald Trump is under
Venezuela,
pressure.
today for Nigeria, tomorrow for
Mm.
you.
Yes, I.
Yeah,
Yeah
Real
man.
talk.
right,
Donald Trump is
right.
under
Real.
pressure. And we can see it. We can see it in the US. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Where the Democratic Party has some significant victories. All of
Mm-hmm.
them running on what you call it
Anti-Trump
now.
policies, anti-Trump
No, anti-Trump
platforms.
policies is really Trump policies. What them call it again?
Make America great.
No man. My goodness, you read a statement.
But describe what it is.
Yeah. So like fi-
Mm-hmm.
affordability. You know what I mean? Most of them are
Mhm.
because everybody say everything will get expensive. You know what I mean? Can't afford things.
Mm-hmm.
So the affordability them are run pan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just you can afford. We say Mandan win the we never talk about that.
The
We talk
mayoral,
about
the
Mandan before
mayoral,
him win
mm-hmm.
the
The
mayor
mayoral, yes,
race in
mm-hmm.
New York. And we see a couple
Mikey
other people
Sherrill,
running on affordability.
Mikey Sherrill as
Right?
well in
And
Jersey.
right. So him under pressure because
Mm-hmm.
this is what he run on. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He run hands, them gonna make America great again, and make everything cheaper, and make everybody can afford everything. You know what I
That's not
mean?
the
But everything
case.
gone up.
Mm-hmm. That's not the
Not
case.
according to his statement in live though. He
What
said everything cheap.
we know what's him no
Mhm.
reality.
We know that not to be
Yeah,
an
yeah.
accurate representation of the facts.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: these men lie in your face, and that's what they run with.
And that's what they enforce. They enforce lies and then talk about justice and who right and who wrong. But how you could talk about who's right and wrong when you blatantly doing wrong? You
Fire,
blatantly doing it
fire. In a
in people's
previous
face and saying, "Hey,
mm,
don't worry about it."
in a
What?
previous chat class, we spoke about this stuff as well. Where we said that people need to stop dealing with politics just on a popularity level and deal with it on the policies level, and until people start doing that, because people are just they're polarized. They're either Democrat or Republican, and they're always going to vote that way. Whereas we should be voting for policies, So as long as we still maintain that psychology and that philosophy, then we will never see any changes as this relates.
Yeah,
For sure.
man. So Venezuela said they are ready to defend themselves, while Nigeria said they will welcome the US aid in fighting Boko Haram.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
But I
let's
don't
see
think
that
they
work out.
stopped it there. They say as long as their sovereignty is respected and maintained.
Yeah, them to
Right.
stop
Yes,
asking
sir.
aid, man. Stop asking
Yeah.
aid.
But I thought they ended aid. I thought that was the decision earlier that they stopped aid. So how come all of a sudden now aid again?
No, but when Nigeria try to stay, I must you don't come help with the fight Boko
Mm-hmm.
Haram, because we need some
Yeah.
help to fight the Boko
they
Haram,
need
Mm-hmm.
help.
because there's no
Yeah.
Christian. They make it say there's no Christian genocide is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I must
Mm-hmm.
help you. You come help with the fight Boko Haram, because
Mm-hmm.
like I said. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not what he said. Still, he said like them about attack
Guns
Nigeria.
blazing. Guns
Right.
blazing.
Yeah, them about attack
Guns
Nigeria. It wasn't
blazing.
no
Nigeria.
Boko Haram. Them must talk about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Kaiman said
Guns blazing.
Nigeria. I kill Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria. So most like the
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria government him attack about. And
Mm-hmm.
then I mentioned no Boko Haram night
Yeah.
I
or
think they're more
whoever do it.
likely
So,
to attack Venezuela.
so we're gonna keep an eye on both
I
of
think
these
they're more
unfolding
likely to
events.
attack Venezuela right
Yeah man,
now.
yeah man. The Nigeria
Yeah.
thing
It's closer.
is so
It's
Yeah,
closer.
that's
yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
It's
it's
yeah.
the
closer.
Nigeria one. The other Nigeria is so far off. Like
Like, you gonna
Yeah.
them,
make it. You're gonna make
yeah.
it. Mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
Mm-mm.
we're gonna keep our eyes on these unfolding events and
Yes,
keep you
sir.
guys updated as it happens and unfolds. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Something we should have mentioned as well is that we're now past the 1K mark, which is a great accomplishment. Kudos to the
Thank you.
Trodclass. Yeah,
Yes,
man,
sir.
and thanks to
Yes, sir.
everyone who's
Yes, give thanks.
subscribed and followed the channel and followed its growth and is a part of it. But it doesn't stop here. There's much more work to be done, and we're working towards doing these things. So give thanks for the moment. Um, give thanks, everyone. My Lord. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
I said the perfect balance, third class. I don't know, say I talk for the living for this represents. Good over evil, me tell them see a life over death. I swear, said I will never switch. Keep the fire burning out. Holy Manuel I Selassie, Jah, blazing fire.